Hey, welcome back to Disrupt the Norm, where we have real conversations about faith, life, and everything in between. We are the Generated Young Adult Movement, and we have some special guests here today. Do y'all want to introduce yourselves? No.
They froze
Come
on
on,
us.
y'all.
Hi,
Don't be
good
shy.
people.
It's fine. I can just, yeah, we can.
Go for it.
You say go for it. I gotta go first.
Yep, you
Yeah.
already talking.
Yes,
Might as
see,
well.
yep, might as well.
My name is Robert Seaborn, aka King Relay. How y'all doing?
Hey.
What's up, Courtney?
I would say no, I can't unmute my mic. No, technical difficulties. My name is Courtney Lots, aka Coco. I was like, I mean,
Right next.
Hi everyone, my name is Kiriana.
Well, thank y'all for coming. How's everybody feeling today before we get into our topic?
Good.
Yeah, man, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Excited to get started. Everything, and they got another show.
Yeah.
And I be honest
So,
and be like, I'm
go
tired
ahead.
because this master's is kicking my butt right now. I only got
But you,
7 more classes, so 2 more semesters. So I'm gonna kick it, But I'm tired.
You almost finished.
but you doing it though.
Yeah, I'm tired though. Yeah, I'm gonna keep keeping on. As the Saints, seasoned Saints used to say. Or do they still say
You know, I'm not even sure.
I ain't heard it in a minute, so I'm gonna just let you know. Retired.
Yeah, we're not sure. All
that?
right. So y'all ready for this topic? I'm a little bit excited about it. So I think this is something that's not talked about enough in church. Questioning God's timing, struggling with unanswered prayers, wrestling with belief itself. So today we're gonna talk about doubt. Y'all ready?
Okay, we ready?
God's timing. So what does doubt look like for you in your personal walk with God?
I guess I can go first. Sometimes it's and I was having this conversation earlier. Um, is sometimes the belief in is it supposed to be me that's supposed to do this thing? Like even though you got the idea, even though um you have the capabilities maybe to even do it, or maybe you have to discover it, but it's like, is it really supposed to be me carrying this thing out? um and so that's where sometimes I struggle, a lot of times, because I'd be like, hey, get somebody else to do it. I don't know if anybody else saw the memes. What was that last year at the end of the year? There was like the strongest soldier package, and everybody trying to call heaven to unenroll.
Yeah.
Like, listen, I felt that one.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because I
Mhm.
was like, I don't think this was supposed to be me. So just trying to navigate that space.
Yeah, I can relate to that too as well. I feel like doubt for me looks like a lot of questioning. I feel like for me, I just be having so many questions. Just like you said, is it supposed to be me? How is it going to happen? Why hasn't it happened? Or why is this all happening to me? I feel like one thing I have learned though is you have to allow God to fill in those blanks for you though.
That's good. Other people.
I'm a can you ask the question again person, Like I'm at the spelling bee like, can you repeat it?
So
What does doubt look like for you in your personal walk with God?
How does doubt look in my personal walk? I would say it. looks like me learning to trust. So I doubt often. And I'm like, okay, God, this is really like I think of James 1, 2 through 4 immediately because that's something
Okay.
that I've had to lean on often. And I'm like, okay, you're testing my faith. So really it's James 1, 2 through 8, that whole section, because it then talks about doubt in there. So it's like, okay, my faith is being tested. All right, God, I must trust you more. So yeah.
Okay, okay. Carry on to Robert. Who want to take this
Um,
question?
for me, it's learning how to take my hands off of something after I've prayed for it.
Mm.
Cause I struggle with that real bad. Like I'll pray for something and in my head it's like I believe it. I know it's possible. I know that God can figure this out on his own. He don't need my help. But I somehow always seem to want to be involved in that process. Like I struggle with being able to actually let go and let God. And I think that's where my doubt comes in at, because it's like I prayed for it and it's like, okay, he's gonna work it out. And then it's this voice in the back of my head like, girl, that's not possible. Or like that's not literal. That's not practical. So I struggle with like being able to step back from the situation after I've prayed for it and really trusting and believing for God to figure it out.
That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
really good. I know a lot of people. I'm including me. I can relate to that as well. Having an issue with control. With control, asking God for something, and still thinking it is not possible, but thinking that I have like some type of role to play in it. When at the end of the day, it's
Yeah,
all
for
God.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
So is it my turn?
Yeah, go ahead.
Last but not least,
Uh,
don't be
no, no,
shy.
no,
Are
no,
you
no.
shy?
My
Oh,
my doubt would be more so. I question what I what I think God wanted. Like me praying, I kind of be particular about my prayers. So sometimes I'll be feel like He don't want to hear. That's too tedious to pray about.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So if it's something real big or detrimental or something like that, something real big, yeah, I pray about those. But the little things that might be on my mind, He don't want to hear about those. You know what I'm saying? I doubt that He want to hear about that. Just let it go and brush under the bridge. Wash under the bridge. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I kind of question what He wants to hear from me and what He doesn't. So
So
the little things aren't as important, is what you're saying. So you doubt he wants to
yeah,
hear that.
yeah. So out of
Okay.
curiosity, why you think that? Like, why you think God don't want to hear the little things from you?
I don't know. I sometimes think it's bothering too. Like I'm bothering Him. You know what I'm saying? If I'm being honest, uh, like I can be going like if I'm want to correct something or fix something, then I pray about that. But then when it's all going bad, but if something going good, like I don't think I'm supposed to. I look at it as complaining or murmuring about something or anything like that. Like I don't know what is the tedious things and what's the important things. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how to differentiate the two,
Okay.
or does it matter? You know what I mean? So it'd be one of those things. So
Do you think you learned that along the way in life, or someone told you that complaining or bringing a little stuff to God is bothersome?
I think I'll probably hearing other people what they go through, and then if they are like say if they are questioning and stuff like that. So I'm looking at, okay, you praying to him about this, you praying to, and I try to limit, and that's probably on me. I try to limit what he wants to hear. You know what I'm saying? Or pick and choose what, when he wants to. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I'm be concerned about the stuff that's not. I shouldn't be concerned about. I should be able to just talk to him about whatever. But I'll be knowing if certain topics is appropriate topic, or I question all that. So I think that's where the doubt come in, questioning what I'm supposed to talk to him about. So then the spiritual things, yeah, will help me pray more or that, but it could be a natural situation, and I wouldn't think you want to hear, "Hey, do I need to catch the bus or should I Uber?" Like, you know what I'm saying, like something like that. Like, I
Mhm.
don't think you want
Mhm.
me to pray or should I Uber? Should I catch the bus? Like, or something like that. Like, I should just be able to figure that out. You know what I mean? That's something I bother him about. So it'd be something like that.
Anybody else felt that way before?
Yes. Yeah, I have definitely, man. I feel like I just been through all stages of doubt. And to answer that, the previous question before, Angela, I do feel like um I kind of learned that like growing up, like as far as God, he don't want to hear all that. He don't want to hear about like what I'm going through or X, Y, and Z. But I feel like as I've grown in Christ, um, one thing that I've learned is God really want to hear all of it from you. You want to hear your things, your praise, your feelings on what happened, throughout the day. So yeah, I could definitely relate to that.
Yeah. I think I for sure relate to what Kiriana said is my doubting is questioning what I'm supposed to what I put in his hands. Like if I'm praying about it, I'm like, okay, maybe I wasn't. I mean, it's kind of related to what Robert is
Yeah,
saying. Okay, God, I'm praying about this, but maybe I need to solve that problem myself, and I don't need to wait on you to answer. So now I'm doubting: was that too
yeah,
big? Was that too little? Should I have waited? What should I do? And I always think too, like, does that have to do with our natural parents? If God is our father, do we kind of respond or look at God like a natural parent? Like, oh, maybe I need to figure out how to do this on my own. But in reality, God wants you to be fully dependent on Him. And I'm just was curious. I think when I even asked that question is a lot of times is our response to God a response to our natural relationships we have on earth. But I'm not gonna send this down a rabbit hole unless somebody truly want to answer it. I do have another question.
but you know what I did hear that. I did hear that as well. A lot of times we base our relationship with God on our relationship with parents, with our parents. So for like example, if you grew up uh, being corrected, like for example, you grew up always being corrected. A lot of times that's how you perceive God speaking to you, or how He is.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I definitely agree. I feel like I can agree with that. When you put it in that perspective, you know what I'm saying? I feel like my natural experiences have dictated my spiritual practices.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
So
Say that again. My natural experiences dictated
that,
my spiritual practices.
yeah,
Okay.
That's real good.
Yeah, it is really good.
And you just said something, and technically it's supposed to be the other way around. However, it's sometimes not always practical. Like for instance, that just made me realize, like, wait, is my sometimes my doubt when it comes to parenting, like most people know my dad wasn't around in my life, like he came around like very few times or whatever. So it's my lack of faith and trust in God the Father, a true reflection of my doubt with the relationship that I lacked with my that I had with my natural father. And sometimes I noticed that like you kind of have to snap out of that, and that can go, we can go down the rabbit hole with that. But it sometimes is the relationship. So I think sometimes we have to take a step back and reassess how we view uh our earthly parents to help us reestablish a good connection with God.
Okay. All right, y'all ready for the next question? And I already
Let's
know the
have it.
answer is gonna be yes, but I'm gonna ask it as if it's not. Has there ever been a moment in your life where you feel like your faith was on shaky ground? I want
Yeah,
to hear the
most
story
definitely.
because we all know the answer is yes. Courtney like, mm-hmm. I know I got a few stories, but y'all go forth.
Listen, real shaky, real. Listen, no, I think that of course we all have examples. Um, for me, I think it's really, I don't want to say a daily thing, but I'm like going through waves. Like when I think of like, like the waves coming in, it's like, oh, okay, I think I'm good. Okay. And then something comes and I think about the scripture where it's like the different type of seeds. I think Pastor just talked about this. Um, because they correlate that like with the heart. So like when stuff come up, do your faith, does that like dry up and you run? And so I think that I'm being tested like right now in this area. Um, but just learning to, I would say for me, go to somebody because my default setting is to like isolate when certain stuff happening to get shaky. I guess I want to like go and hide. But realizing that like you're not the only person who like going through stuff and it gets shaky, like and it gets rocky, like go and talk to somebody, let somebody kind of remind you, encourage you, pour into you, pray for you because your faith's shaky right now. So you feel like if you pray, like I literally the other day I was praying to God, I'm like, God, do you even hear me? Like, so that's what I've been doing in those rough moments because yes, they have been more often than not.
That's good. Who else?
Well, yeah, I feel like that's it's definitely really good. So for me, um, for example, so I got my mother like going through like cancer like for the second time, and like a lot of times I'm thinking to myself like, why is this happening? Um, God, are you gonna really heal my mother? And everything. So yeah, like I could definitely relate to that. Having shaky faith, I know what's really helped me is um just trying to see God like in a situation. So like for example, I got friends that pray for us. People that support us. I just had some of my friends send my mother some flowers just the other day. She really liked that. Um, even the doctor, telling her that she doing better than expected. So just little stuff like that, to keep my faith going.
That's real good too. Yeah, because it's when oftentimes when I think about it being shaky is not when he it's only when he didn't do something how I wanted him to do it. That's when I feel like it's shaky the most. Like, well, God, if you said you could do it, why you not doing it? See, now it's a
Right.
little. You should have really did it yesterday. If you can just speak to the fig tree and wither it up in a moment, you can speak to cancer and dry it up like this in a second. So why
Right.
does that? Why didn't it happen? And sometimes I think similar to you, like the situation with my sister, it was like that made my faith real shaky. And I remember we did um the prayer walk. I think it was a prayer walk. We had like rise and pray before it. And I remember the guy was speaking and he said, or does your heart believe what you're saying? And I really took a moment and thought about that and was like, does my heart believe? Like, I know that God can heal, but do I believe that healing can happen because of how it played out in a specific situation? And I had to really do like a heart check. Just because he didn't do it in this situation how I wanted him to didn't mean he's not able to. And I had to really think about that in the foundation of how I view God is. Well, if he didn't let this thing if he let this thing happen, right, that you were praying against, or he didn't let something happen, now the next time you're in a similar situation as that, is your faith being over generalized? Like, well, he didn't do it in this situation that was like this. Now you on shaky ground, and you like, whether he did this or he didn't do that in any season, he's still able to start or stop something from happening. That, like, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
People with that, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it definitely makes sense. But I even think like in situations like that, even situations well, when I'm going through other people going through, I feel like in all the grand scheme, I feel like God is really building up our maturity in Him. So that just
Mhm.
like you said, like God can, even the Bible, we see God drying up or healing diseases like instantly, healing people like instantly. So you thinking, well, how come that's not happening with me? But it's not like always on our time. It's on God's time, right? So even if just like I said, my mother going through cancer, she could be healed through um, whatever the doctor's doing, her treatments, and all that. And God is still present. In the hospital room, in the doctor's procedures, all of that, and you got to have faith in that God is still here. It may just not be in a way that you would like.
Mhm. Anyone else?
Oh, um, I would say that my mistakes, like I could make a mistake or sins could deter me from having faith that he's still going to do something. And it
You
could be a
said your
small
sins would make you feel like
or
he won't do it. Is that what
yeah,
you said?
yeah.
Okay.
So I can, prime example, I can be at work and slip and cuss somebody out, right?
Hmm.
But I prayed for something yesterday. I just assume because I just cussed somebody out, whatever I prayed for yesterday, not about to happen. So
How
it
come
gives
every
me,
time you speak, I feel like this be your natural experiences and you just translate it to God? But I don't even mean to do that. I be like,
yeah, it's just,
y'all know this is interactive. Y'all don't have to wait for me to. Y'all can respond in real time and don't have to stay muted, y'all. People, y'all can interact with me,
I'm
please.
saying muted, trying to be respectful. But
No,
no,
say
that's good.
what you saying. Say something.
That's good. No, I think that that's really good because that's probably the reason why I had that thought the other day. Like, it's like, God, do you hear me? Are you answering me? Like, wait, you probably not, because I know I just fell short earlier. Like, I know I said forgive me real quick, but because I fell short, I know you hear the prayers of the righteous, but was I really living righteous, a couple hours ago when I snapped on that person that I knew deep down inside that you told me to shut up?
But
So,
see, and here's the funny thing, God is not petty like we are. Like you think God gonna stop God just because you snapped at somebody? That is your aspect of you, and it reminds you that you are prone to error. But that does not mean that God is just like, oh, Rob cut somebody out, so I ain't gonna bless him today.
Yeah.
That ain't how God operates. And we gotta stop shortchanging ourselves. Now, granted, it does it doesn't mean that you just go out there and be willy-nilly and just do your own thing because God gonna forgive me. No, that ain't what that is.
right.
However, it's we can't just put God in this box and be like, oh, he's petty and he ain't gonna
Mhm.
bless me because I did something bad yesterday. His grace is sufficient. So I mean, I really kind of want us to get out of this thing because, and I used to do this too. That like it could be something so small that God can't forgive us. We'll take the mountaintops to him, but we won't take the smallest things to him. And it's like if he says everything, then he means everything. There's nothing left after everything. So I think just got to get our mindset out of just knowing that that's not how God operates.
So, kind of going back to what we was talking about before, like how the way we grew up is like the way we see God. I know a lot of us see God like a punisher, just like this supernatural being that sit up in the sky and It's ready to strike us down with lightning every time we do something wrong.
Yo, okay, so let
Woo.
me I'm about to put Pastor. Hey Pastor, she watching this y'all. And so I'm
Hey,
about to put something on here.
What's up, Pastor?
Uh
There you go, Pastor.
Pastor.
but she also said a couple of things. So let me just post this real quick. If he'll let me do it. All right. So she was saying how does he does not punish or refuse to answer prayers based on where we are. That was what she talked about in Bible study yesterday. And then she also put Isaiah 55, his thoughts are not our thoughts and his ways are not like our ways. And then we also have Chrissy Spate, who also said something. And she said, I always go back to him choosing discipline that feels equipped, where disciples of is that disciples?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
disciples that feel equipped, but they were chosen. He was an example to them as he is to us. Because his
That was pretty
disciples,
good.
they was messy. He
Yeah,
had tax collectors. And back in that time, people didn't like really the tax collectors because
Mm-mm.
they was treating them kind of bad. And he had people that was who was the other one? You had the tax collector and somebody else, and they always used to beef really bad. But
Yeah, Peter cutting off
yeah.
ears. That's my guy,
yeah.
man.
Peter, that was a
I
thug.
mean,
They say he was
yeah,
a thug.
thug life, see.
I'm telling
We
you.
can always get with Peter. That's what Pete on Pete. And
Because you
Chrissy,
know what's
oh, I'm
even
sorry.
funny that we talked about the disciples doubting Thomas.
Oh yeah, yeah.
See, the fact that you brought
Let's
him
get to
up,
it.
that strikes a chord with me, okay? Because I feel like
What's
people
the
give him
cord?
a bad name, right? They call him Doubting Thomas, but he was okay. You got to look at it from a different perspective. He had always been there for the miracles, for everything. He was there at the feed the 5,000, and then feed the, I believe it was actually 6,000 the next time, and he was there at the cross when he died. He's seen all the miracles. He was always there, and now the one time that he wasn't was supposed to be the greatest miracle. So of course he gonna be frustrated and be like, you know what? I ain't gonna believe it until I see it. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I think that's the part where I think people get frustrated and don't give him the street cred that he does, because it wasn't necessarily that he was doubting. It could have just been, I missed my opportunity to see the miracle. And because that's what he was used to. And I think
Mm.
we kind of gotta have to get out the mindset of maybe God wants to bless you a different way. Not necessarily that he doubted.
Yeah, but I was like, did you have to see the miracle to believe that it was a miracle? Is that still not doubt?
Yeah, I know. Thomas, so he was the one that was like, what do you say? He said, let's all go and die with Jesus. I just thought that was so sarcastic.
Now I gotta go back and
I
read that.
think I think I want to just be the optimistic one, that it was just not necessarily a doubt thing. It's just I want to see the blessing too. I want to
Yeah.
have this experience too.
Mm.
And
Mm.
it comes out like as a doubt experience. But I could be wrong and misinterpret. So somebody tell me I'm wrong. I'm cool with it. I'm gonna go back and research
I don't.
it. No, I'm just
I
saying.
don't think it's a matter of. I don't think it's a matter of right and wrong, like a dialogue, because
Yeah.
like sometimes my faith look like, oh God, I gotta see it to believe it,
I
Yeah.
gotta see some.
and I just sit there and go,
Like
mm-hmm.
I can't wait to see this. Like is you waiting to see something to come to fruition, is that really doubt? Like
And you know
that's what,
what?
and I struggle with that part, and so maybe that's the reason why I was like, it wasn't really doubt. But I get what you're saying, Andy. Like, why did you have to see it to believe it? Why couldn't you just believe it? But if I've always been there to experience the miracle,
Mm.
and I need a miracle in my life myself at that moment because I am down, but everybody else has to experience a miracle besides me concerning the man that I have followed for 3 years of my life. Is that really doubt for you to say, I'm like, I ain't gonna believe this until I see it for myself? I think he probably could have just said it out of frustration.
Yeah.
because he needed that experience too.
But you know how good God is? He let him see it. You know, it does, having a doubt didn't count you out either way. Whether we call it doubt or not doubt, he had a question. Like, well, he had a statement like, I see it when I believe it, and God said, I'll show you. So it's like, can have faith and doubt at the same time? Or can they coexist? Because even if I talk about right now, like I'm not pessimistic with that. It's just I've had prophecy where somebody said something, right? Okay, well, if you are a prophet of God, that means God said he cannot lie. And I'm still waiting to see it because I got to see it to believe it. Like today in 2025 on July, I'm still waiting for the stuff that I've heard have like, oh, you're going to get a new car, right? That's not my story. But like, say you're going to get a new car. I believe that I'm going to get a new car. I believe God can do it, but I'm still kind of side waiting to see it before I fully believe I'm gonna get a new car.
Mm.
Like I know he can do it, but I gotta see. And you just kind of like you is that still doubting? Question mark.
I don't know. I think that's kind of valid because I mean, is it doubt? Mm, is it less doubt and more so, like you said, he asked us, he's made a statement, and the statement was followed up with the, well, here you go. I think about
Mm-hmm.
like, ask and you shall receive. Like a statement or a question doesn't necessarily imply that you're doubtful. You just asking a question. Like, I need to see something. Like, I don't. I think it just depends. Maybe.
So Jacinta put some. I want you to put that on the screen, Mimi, because I would really like to talk about that.
Oh,
Oh, oh, and I got
Do
one,
you see
another
it?
one too. Before we go to that one, it was
Okay.
Chrissy said, I believe that doubt is a natural response and faith is a supernatural response.
Let's see.
That's a
And
good way of putting it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that's good.
yeah.
Yep,
All right.
we
So
agree.
all right. So we got just into on here this comment, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, you want me to read it?
Yep, go
All
ahead.
right. Today at work, someone talked about a cheating pastor and how that same pastor prayed for their children that had surgery. But in my mind, I always think of he who was without sin. We all come short. No sin is greater than the next. We all have to have, is it faith? Or did it? Oh, we have to have a
What?
humble heart. God is love. Sorry, y'all, I had to finish reading on the side.
Yeah.
I was just trying to read it too. Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
No, that's
Yeah.
good.
I think that that's something that in today's time I find myself praying for now, because like for example, when people bring up Job, they bring up his patience, right? But his
Hmm.
faith and his trust was just as strong as his patience. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you can be patient and still be like kind of wavery with your patience a little bit, but he never wavered. You know what I'm saying? He stayed just as patient as he was. He stayed just as strong in his faith and his trust. You know what I'm saying? And I know everything ain't been taken from, you know what I'm saying, but everything was taken from him. You know what I mean? So that always you bring me back to ground zero and allow me to build up whenever I get too low. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, because it's the biblical figures, people in the Bible, they show us that faith and doubt aren't enemies. Like what Chrissy said, doubt is a natural response and faith is a supernatural response. They both can coexist.
mm,
Mhm.
And this leads to my next question. Do you feel like the church in general makes enough space to ask honest questions?
I don't answer
You don't want to hear? Why not? Listen, come
that
on, let's talk
because
about
So
it.
go ahead.
Well,
so this is what
I'm
I
like,
say. I feel like the church that I go to now, yes, but on my past church experiences, no. that has not been the case. And that's one thing I do, appreciate about like the church I'm at now, and even like I say, even the friends that I have, friends in God, we talk about different stuff like this. It's all just open conversation, open, honest conversation. We could talk about like our real thoughts, our real feelings, and that's how we get to encourage one another.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's true. That's true. Now,
I
I
want
mean,
to hear other. Go ahead, Robert. Go ahead. What's your answer?
man, because look, I can be at church, right, and I'd be good, but then I have a conversation with somebody, and I will respond to response with a spiritual response, right? And they could be in church with me, but they would shun the spiritual response because they feel like it's a confrontational thing because they not in that space. You know what I mean? So it's like they could be struggling in this area, and if I respond that what I feel like from a faith based response, they cannot receive that, right? And so now it alters me because they be at church more than me. You know what I mean? So now I'm like, if with
Mhm.
this one person, and especially if they got a position, if they can be in that way, well, I don't wouldn't trust going to the masses and have a conversation because this person already made it feel like that was left field. You know what I'm saying? So I don't feel like certain conversations are a safe space to have. But I want to have them because who else I'm gonna talk about them with? Because I want to be led in the right direction, and not lean to my own understanding of what's going on. You know what I mean? So that'd be my whole issue.
Mhm.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
so I see the comments. So I'm gonna re-ask the question. I saw that in there, and I think we got to address some of this stuff. It says, "Do you feel like the church in general makes space for honest questions?" So that was the question, and I see we got some comments going on.
Yeah, I see him.
Cariana, go ahead. I see you trying to say something.
Oh,
Or
wait,
did
I hope she's not frozen.
she's frozen?
Oh dang. I feel like
Okay. Courtney, go ahead, and then we're
yeah,
gonna try her again.
I'm definitely thinking that some people are like, oh, okay, yes, I can ask these questions now at church. But and I'm trying not to look at the comments too, but I'm like looking at the comments because you really have to. Yes, I think you can ask these questions. It's a safe place now, but you also have to be you have to take heed to responses like you said, Robert, because not everybody, you might respond like you said with a faith-based answer and somebody be like, I don't know, so it makes you think like, hold on, wait a second. But that's why you have to test everything. And it's just like for me, I'm like, okay, I will ask the question sometimes, if I really feel led to. However, I'm gonna always take whatever answer I might hear back to God. So yes, I think it's starting to become a safe place, but because so many people are asking questions, and with that being said, so many people are responding, it's also like, okay, now let's test this. Is this like something where it's of God and the response? I'm always like, does it bring me peace, patience, joy, love? Kind of like I think about the fruits of the spirit, or is this like response that you gave me gonna bring more conflict and turmoil and unforgiveness and bitterness? Like, am I gonna feel that? So yeah, I think it's a safe place. Everybody responses don't be
So listen, hear me out, y'all. Hear me out. Hear me out. Because we do see y'all comments. But to Robert's point, where you may be in the church and you are talking to somebody, you give them a faith based answer, and they're like, nah, that's not what I want. But did we not complain also about when we were struggling with stuff and they're like, just take it to God? And it was like, it didn't feel real. Like, you made me think, I was wrong for struggling and doubting and having my issues because I wasn't always responding in a faith based way. So how come the other people aren't allowed not to respond in a non or receive a non faith based response? Y'all get what it because I remember like, oh, the older
Mm.
saints
That's
just
true.
ain't never went through nothing. Like, why I'm struggling? They like praise the Lord, and I'm like, I'm here. I'm here today. Like you get like three
Like
claps.
it lacked the practicality of it. Like eh, like we over spiritualize stuff and it'd be like, yo, I don't think that was what I needed. Like I needed something that says practically how do I deal with this issue? And sometimes people just like, well, you're not praying hard enough. And I used to hate that too because it's like, no, I'm asking
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
questions on how to learn how to do this. But
Right.
I felt like it was a default answer because maybe they didn't know it either and they just didn't want to say that they didn't know. Which is why, like, when y'all asked the question, like, do you have it was like always growing up, I don't think I did have that experience. But then, I transitioned to a church that did. Shout out to Faith Tab. Yay. So it's
Period.
Yay.
because they allow and we've had so many critical conversations over with our discipleship groups, emotional healthy, all these different series that we've had within the church to have those transparent conversations. But if there were certain like people as they leave, it's like once those people kind of leave that don't want to have you have that open space, then people can start asking those questions like, okay, I understand this. I don't know why we do this. And it's just like, because to ask questions is not necessarily expressing doubt. Like sometimes it's asking because you don't know. That's not doubt. That's a totally different thing. But I would say, oh, I got a few people online that
Yes, put
asked
them
some
up
questions. Did
there.
somebody want to um, let's see. We have, okay, I did put this one up there, but I'll put it back up again. She said, Christopher, I feel like now, yes, but I feel that's because so many were leaving. Um, Jacinta said, what about people that are loners like me who pick and choose who I'm gonna listen to, like Robert? We got actually a question too. Um, and
But
then
wait, do
wait, I'm
we?
gonna
Is
wait
that
for
a
that question.
question? Is that a
That
question
was a
that
question.
Jacinta is asking, like for the people who don't have many relations with people in the church and the people they go to for spiritual guidance, or they look at a certain way and their response is this? What do you do? Like Robert, what would you do if like you are looking at a person a certain way and you give them what you think is an appropriate answer and they're like, nah, I don't want it. What would you do with that?
Um, I don't know because um, sometimes my encouragement is misinterpreted as confrontational. So I can try to do the right thing and encourage, and somebody feel like I'm not validating where they are, but I'm really encouraging. But then they, because they know my personal life and my walk, I'm not at church every day, so they don't feel because I'm not in a position like the next person that I have that right to say X, Y, and Z. So they feel more attacked than.
Hmm.
So now me, I feel like I'm less than in the kingdom because now this person has made me
Mm.
feel like I don't have the knowledge to say X, Y, and Z. But this person will go say X, Y, and Z, and it's received right off the bat. You feel what I'm saying? So now I'm like, I don't have the what is it that I have to accomplish for my mindset or to say that for my encouragement to be interpreted right. So I'm not always, I might not, so that'd be my whole thing. So that's why I feel like it's not safe for me. I can't speak for the next person. That's why I feel it's not safe for me. So I'm very skeptical on who I have any conversations with, for that matter.
Yeah, I don't like that you feel like you disqualified because of your
Mhm.
walk with God. I don't like that at all.
Right.
And make you feel like you have to shrink because you're not at a certain standard. Like God called all the people. He
Mm-hmm.
didn't disqualify anybody. So who was somebody to disqualify you unless that's just your own internal voice? And that's something that you would like do inner healing and deliverance with that. But if somebody is giving you that message in the church, that's different versus that's your inner voice that's saying that because of stuff that you have. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So
Yeah.
I don't know which one it is, but
And I think what will also help with that, something that I started doing is I'll ask my friends, like, what advice do you want? Or like whoever I'm talking to, we having a conversation and they say something and you listening, I think that's a part of like the discernment. Like I seen somebody say that. Like in this case,
Mhm.
somebody might want the faith response, and you give that, and you like, okay, that's what they need. Somebody might need that practical response. And sometimes God will tell us, and sometimes we just simply need to ask people in the conversation. So it's like, okay, this person right now, they need some practical responses. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna take heed to that. Like this is an actual thing that I can use versus then somebody is like, okay, now here's some encouragement with the word.
hmm
I
I don't know.
think
That
that
helps.
I struggle with talking to people in the church or open up to people in the church in general because of that exact reason. Like growing up, it was all church and Bible for me. We was like at church every day, read the Bible front to back. Like that was thrown heavily. So it's like now I'm at a place where it's like, okay, I know the Bible, I know the word. I'm still learning, of course, but I know what it means to have a relationship with God. I need practical answers. And I feel like a lot of times when you ask a question in the church, from my experience, you get a Bible verse thrown at you. You get a scripture. You get somebody else's testimony. And sometimes for me, it's just like, I just need you to tell me what I can do right now outside of praying because I know how to pray. I can go and take it to God. I know to do that, but I be needing practical answers, and a lot of time it's like the church gives you that scripture or that verse, or they want to pray over you for 75 hours, and it's just like, look,
Mm-mm.
I just need to get today into tomorrow,
not
and
the 3 day
it don't
fast.
always work for me. So
Sorry
I
for
think like when
75
I talk
hours.
to people, I talk to them how I want to be talked to because I feel like a lot
Mm,
of people, especially my generation, feel that way because it's like we're young, so most of the times like the church has older people, so they're accustomed to their way of delegating things. And so for me it's just like I just want to talk. I don't want 17 scriptures. I don't want to pray for 17 hours. I don't want the oil on my head all the time. Like I just want to talk and I just want a practical response. And it's feel like it's so hard to get that now.
I think I'm sorry, you funny,
come
but
on,
it
Oreo with
goes
the
back
Right,
head.
to
right, right.
what Elder.
And
If you could
Pastor,
put up what Elder Wood said, that
Uh-huh.
gotcha.
what it sounds like is relationship, and that would address what Robert is saying, what Jacinta is saying in the chat. It's about relationship, one relationship with God, and two, the relationship with the people that you're talking to,
Hmm.
because it is you know your population. Like
Yeah.
if you struggling and you looking for a practical answer, do I know you enough, or am I assessing the situation enough to know, okay, I should probably encourage her, I should pray for her, I should just talk to her,
Okay.
and that comes to
Mhm.
relationship. But if I already know half of y'all like that, and I'm like, okay, well, my response is because I'm at church, I should respond in faith with a faith response, and then you like, nah. Well, I just not know you enough, and I'm thinking because we in this setting, this is how I'm supposed to respond.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I just I feel like sometimes people evaluate me as a person rather than be involved in a conversation. So it'd be
Say that
like
again.
I feel like people evaluate me as a person rather than being involved in the conversation. So
Oh, okay.
instead of
Mhm.
really listening to what I'm saying to understand me, they listen to what they can fix. If that makes
Uh
any sense.
Mm. I
oh.
have a
So
question, a follow-up question for you. I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off. Finish your thought.
go ahead, go ahead. I mean, that's really what it is. So that would put a guard up for me to actual go to people and talk about something that I'm actually struggling with or want to have a conversation about or something like that because I feel like they're going to evaluate me rather than be involved and connect with me. You feel what I'm saying? And that's basically it.
It's like that state, that quote, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And somebody
We've
telling you,
been
well, I
saying
know all
that.
these things, Robert, and I can help you. It's like, but do you care?
That's it, literally. Literally.
And so here's another thing, Rob, that want to ask you. In that caring piece, do you think sometimes is dismissed because of they still see you as young Rabbit versus a man that stands before them? Like, do you think like sometimes they dismiss it because of what they like when they was like, oh, that's just little Rob or that's just little Courtney. Like, even though Coco got her own little Coco, that's still, Coco, and they still thinking that she little child. So sometimes
Mm.
I wonder, is it a thing of maybe them not recognizing your own maturity?
I think that all the time. But I don't I don't know if they I dictate if they have the time to even have a conversation. Sometimes it'd be more so my own thought process to that hinders me from having those conversations. And then I know I gotta have discernment to who I have conversations with. So until I have, no, until I get an answer, and sometimes I'd be feeling like that's too supernatural. Like, hey, somebody gonna whisper, go talk to such, go talk to such and such in my ear. Like a guy gonna whisper who to talk to in my ear. Now, okay, I'm gonna go talk to, what I'm saying? It's not gonna happen like that all the time. So how does that how do that experience of having that discernment to get to know who to talk to, or did it just happen naturally? You know what I'm saying? Or just so it'd be one of those situations. But yeah, I honestly felt like because I grew up in the church, and definitely if they see me grow up and they see mistakes or this, I wouldn't I wouldn't trust. I ought to be trusting going to those people. I'd be looking for a new person to go to because I think they're gonna base me off of what they've seen, and I don't. I might have outgrew it, you know, and I might be struggling over here, but they might base that off of something they seen me as a child or me growing up. You know what I'm saying? Think I'm still struggling in that, and it doesn't correlate with the two. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I say the more of a being evaluated because they know me rather than being involved with me or based on who I am now and what I've learned and my experiences as an adult. You know, so
That still goes back to relationship. Like, I'm
yeah.
not 17 anymore. I'm
Mm,
not. It's have you taken the time to get to know me as this version of me today? You know.
Yeah. And to piggyback off of you, like one of the conversations or something that my cousin Kendall said about me, she was like, at my birthday, and she said that I'm getting to learn who she is because me and her is a 15-year gap. So she knew me as Little Mary and being the kid that she babysat. But now she's learning me as a grown woman and doing my own thing and just learning how our lives are so much aligned. And I think sometimes we got to take ourselves and be willing to relearn something about somebody because they're in a different state and a level of maturity than what you're
mm,
used to. And I think some people have to open their mind or to that possibility that they've outgrown that persona that they thought that they have of that little person.
Hmm.
That's good.
Are, are there any other comments or questions we didn't address? We do want to make sure we're
Yeah, we did.
responding to
We
you
had
all in
one.
there.
I gotta go up. Give me a second. Okay, here we go. So the question was, it says, I have a question. Why do you think Jesus allowed people to question him and express doubt in the first place?
Listen,
Ooh, who wants to take it? Because one of my side questions was something else, and I don't want to sidetrack it. So, anybody want to answer that directly?
I think he allowed them to be human. Like, if he had to come down in human form and connect with us, like here, like, all right, y'all, God was basically like, y'all not getting it. I gotta go ahead and send my son because he gonna have to walk with y'all. So it's like we walking together with Jesus. So yes, I think he expected us to do our human nature, which asking questions. That's why we have the parables, right? That's why we're able to go to it and look at these things and understand them, um, and apply them to our lives. So it's like, was it also because it was needed? Like, because we were just before Jesus came, like, going up to the, we got the bush and, they going to the mountaintop. Like, did he almost already know, like, okay, when I send Jesus, they gonna be asking a lot of questions. Be ready. Y'all ready? Be writing this down. Okay, take notes. Because clearly they wasn't getting it when I was, you know. So I think in a way he knew it was our human nature to ask questions.
Because my response was more so a question. That's why I was like, does anybody want to respond? Anybody else want to respond to
Ooh,
that?
what's your question?
I don't know.
So, do you think doubt can be a gift? And it's just a sign that you're searching for a deeper meaning, or searching for something deeper as a whole.
I did.
Oh,
That's
that's a tough one.
that is.
I feel like doubt is a space to grow, because when you doubt something, for me, when I doubt something, I feel like I'm just searching for a deeper answer. So when I receive that answer, then I'm growing, then I'm learning, then I'm developing wisdom. So when I, like, even with my relationship with God, when I doubt something that I prayed for, and then that prayer is answered, and I'm like, okay, now I know. Now I can walk this straight and narrow. Now I can, whatever it is, because I've received whatever it was I prayed for. I received whatever revelation I needed regarding that doubt. So it gave me space to grow in that aspect.
That's real
I like
good.
that.
Because that's why I'm like, if he created us, if we saying like doubt is a human response, and what's that scripture, y'all? It got the word endurance in it, y'all. What is it? Um,
Is it not the one that
Can
I
you
mentioned
paraphrase?
today?
did you just say it?
I never read it. Dear brothers and sisters, when troubles come your way of any kind, consider it a great opportunity for all joy, for you know that your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. Yes, no,
That
maybe.
that
Okay,
that is what I'm talking about. Um,
that's that James that listen eating me up
And
because
here's
then
a
it
mhm.
good
talks
one.
about doubt further down in it. But I think that it might be a gift. I mean, it's like how they say common sense ain't always common. So even though as
Lord, thank
humans, you would think we all have common sense because we have a brain, we have a mind, unlike the animals in the wild. But maybe doubt is this type of gift that you have to learn how to steward, though, because you don't want to. When I think about this scripture, it talks about you don't want to doubt like what you're asking God for. Um, because then it talks about like being double minded and everything with that. So it's like with anything, then it's like I guess going back to like what Chris said, like, okay, doubt is that human response. That's beautiful. That something can happen with that. That faith is that supernatural part that's gonna come up because of my doubt, possibly. So why not allow it to kind of happen?
that's what I'm saying. You know,
Okay. Mm,
because what have you all learned? I know, like, um, in my seasons of doubt.
that's good. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, like I was reading it. In
I'm
my
like, that's good.
seasons of doubt, what did I learn?
Mhm.
I learned that although the word said something, my seasons of doubt has shown me that what the word said was true.
That's
Mhm.
good.
Because doubt doesn't mean that you don't move. Now just like you
Listen,
moving with caution a lot of times. So my phrase of doing it afraid is it like I don't know what this is. Like when it talks about now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, but it talks about how people moved in faith. First of all, there was no such thing as rain before Noah in his boat, y'all. Like he didn't even know what that was. So it's like he just moved because he got a command. So it's just like one of those things like how do you I was like I don't doubt this, but I don't even know what it is. So you just kind of move it even regardless of if you don't even understand it. So I hope that's
Yeah, well,
go ahead.
oh, my bad. Well, the scripture, so all you need is a mustard seed.
I think so,
That's
Tiny.
it.
That's all you need, and you already know it's like that little. All you need is like that little faith
that little thing.
to be able to move mountains.
Listen, I got a
It's
little mustard
good.
seed sitting right here.
Cause
I
it's
listen.
good. You know, um what this is the last question, y'all. We gotta wrap up. This was real good. So I always like to end it a little bit with some practical solutions, or I wouldn't be who I was if I didn't. What would you say to someone who's afraid to admit that they're struggling with doubt?
You're not alone.
Very
Yeah,
natural
but
response.
that the key
I'm
is
here.
to it's acceptance. The key is the first to admit and to accept that I struggle with this.
Uh-huh.
Talk about it.
I feel like yeah that's definitely the first step
Well,
to getting over.
Wait, can you ask the
That's
question
yeah.
again?
It's I said, what would you say to somebody who's struggling with doubt?
Okay, I got my same answer.
So
You're not. I mean, when
she
you
said
said
I
you're
got my
not
same
alone, was
answer
good.
Mm.
But I
because
just,
it's a human response.
what do we want to lead the people with, y'all? Is but you're not. And when I said what I said, it's funny. It was you're not alone because the word said He'll never leave and forsake you. So when I was doubting and I was struggling, my faith was shaky. You know what? He
Mm,
didn't leave. He didn't leave, and He didn't forsake me, and that's what I learned.
yeah.
You
Another
know,
thing is, oh, sorry, go ahead.
that's it. No, that's it. That's it.
I think for me, when dealing with doubt, is like Phil said, accepting that you have it because you're having an experience with it, but also dig deeper, do the work to figure out why. Um,
Mm,
and you'll discover like why you have that doubt. Like for instance, in the beginning when I said it could be just a lack of confidence in yourself and your abilities that's causing you to doubt, and then going through it scared will allow you to see, oh wait, I could do this. I just had a lack of confidence within myself, or didn't have a sturdy uh faith in myself, or if it's maybe something externally, but just really digging deeper and do the work, and just sometimes doing it afraid, um and knowing that God got your back, ain't gonna let you
Hmm.
fail. I would rather you try and fail than never try at all out of fear.
Yeah.
that's good.
I
yeah,
would say test it out. Um because I feel like a lot of times we doubt things because we just simply don't know, we're unsure. You're not going to figure it out until you try it out. And I think it's easier for us to do it naturally than it is spiritually, because if you don't know if you can fit a pair of shoes, you try them on. If you don't know if
Girl,
the
you
pair can
better.
hold you up, you sit in it. If you don't know if your car gonna make it on E, you still try to get there. Like, we test it out
Mhm.
naturally, but then when it comes into the spiritual realm, it's like this fear that just dwells over. So I would just say try it out, test it out. Like, and that's like what I've been doing now personally. It's like, hey, look, God, I need my rent paid by the third. So you got into the third to figure this out. It's like, I don't, we got to figure it out. And it's like, having that doubt kind of pushes you to try harder for me. Because I know that it seems so impossible, but I know that I serve a possible God.
You better preach.
That was
You
real
Come
better
good.
on,
preach.
P.
That was real
Yes.
good.
She been singing her heart out too, y'all. Wait, and I got Pastor online. She been giving us some tidbits too. Why are you struggling? And talk about it. Talk through it. Talk to your feelings of doubt through. Um, Show them your scars. Doubting Thomas didn't believe that Jesus was on the cross. Did not believe that the Jesus on the cross. He believed in Jesus with the scars. We can't be afraid to show people our scars, our
That's
pain, our
good.
struggles, our falls.
Oh,
And
that's
then
good.
This why I said I can't isolate from the
Y'all
beginning.
better
pride
preach.
cannot rule when you're ministering to people who doubt. She's just been going in.
I'm stuck on what
Um,
Yeah,
Pastor said. I got to go back to that. She said he believed in Jesus with the scars. Mm.
Sometimes we got to show them the scars. She said that one time, but it just does something to me right now. Just rereading that and just saying like, dang. Sometimes people got to know what you've been through. Um.
well,
Robert, were you about
Also,
to say something? I saw your mouth
yeah,
moving.
yeah, I was. I went till she finished. She built
oh
on this.
no, I had a few more, but go ahead, bro.
Um, I literally just had a situation like that within the last 2 2 3 days, right? So I tried to be there for somebody that was doubting and encourage just listen, right? And in the midst of me encouraging to look at the the brighter side of stuff and say the stuff I've been through because they see me go through stuff. Um, their response was, "Well, I've been like this my whole life." Instead of the accountability of saying, "Yeah, I need to change that." They more fixated on, "Well, I've been like this my whole life," and I don't know how to respond and get them out of that traditional emotional confliction that they've been wrestling with. I don't feel like I'm at a place where I can get them through that. So all I'll do is, hey, you need to talk to somebody. And then I get well, you just young, you don't understand. And it's not about being young. I do think you can get through it. But getting through it, the things that you're speaking out saying that I've been like this always, this how I've been, this how I've been, that's your response. you're you're speaking that this is where you're gonna stay. And I think that that's one thing in the discipleship class that we spoke on. It says,
Mm-hmm.
"Come as you are, but not stay as you are." So
Mm-hmm.
that's a thing that when it comes to speaking to certain people and trying to encourage, they more fixated on the pride of staying who they are rather than changing who they are. So it's hard for me to meet them where they at
And
sometimes.
I think it's even a twofold. Like it's pride and it's fear.
Yeah,
Who else would I be if I didn't have this? If I let this scar heal?
Ooh,
Come on.
People have fear of that. Y'all see, y'all know how I can get. I'm not gonna. We at the
She just
end.
opened us a can of worms,
We at the
and
end, and
it was a
y'all
good
know
one though.
how they done bought the social workers in the chat. I'm just gonna
okay.
validate
That's
people's feelings and talk about it.
so do you feel like people have the fear of overcoming something too, as the same way of
I mean,
Yeah.
overcoming?
if my identity has been an undercover, yeah, overcoming it seems scary because it's unknown.
You
So
Oh, that unknown, yes.
I think sometimes when people are like that, maybe I'm kind of responding to you, Robert. Like instead, share that might be your opportunity to share a testimony about something that you felt like was always gonna stay the same in your life. You know what I'm saying? You acknowledging, you know what? I feel what you're saying. I understood that because I felt that way about this, that, and the third. But God, or you know what I'm saying? Like
know,
maybe that's could be that space. Cause in that case, nothing that you say to try to get them to try to change what they got going on might happen. But they might just you might have just planted that seed for them to be like, okay, like this is a practical, real life person that I know who giving me an example of how he actually I'll use the word because we keep saying overcame this situation that you thought was gonna stay the same. So,
Yeah. So I got me a little outro script, y'all. I'm gonna say, cause I want I this was really really good. I thank you all for participating. To the people viewing in the
Hmm.
chat, thank y'all for that interactive feedback. This was really good. So if you're wrestling with doubt, I want you to know you're not alone. Just like Courtney said, you are not less spiritual because of it. Faith doesn't always mean having the answers. Sometimes it means holding on when things don't make sense. Keep asking, keep seeking, and remember God is not intimidated by your questions. He welcomes it. Until next time, be honest with yourself, stay rooted in grace, and don't forget faith and doubt can work together. Thank y'all for watching.
All right, peace out,
thank
y'all.
y'all for
Peace.
having
Thank y'all for watching.